It was the great William Shakespeare that said that all of the world is a stage, and we are but mere actors up on that stage. So I want to talk to you about the biggest performance of your life. The biggest performance of your life as it relates to the law, as it relates to if you're unfortunate enough. Let me just say that if you're unfortunate enough, I hope and pray that, you watch this video and maybe you can pass it along to someone, but that you never actually have to appear in a courtroom, in a trial as a criminal defendant. But if you do, I want to talk to you about the biggest performance of your life. And I say that because when we think of a performance, we think of what? Someone being on the stage, someone being on a court or a field or something to where the attention and all eyeballs are on you. I'm a great sports fan. I love the movies. I love theater. But I cannot think of a venue or a setting or an event in which the stakes couldn't be more higher than if you are a criminal defendant facing criminal conviction, facing the possibility of losing your liberty, your ability to move about freely and to come and go as you please. Because when you're charged with a crime and you go to trial, and we're talking about a jury trial here, but all eyes are on you. And I think people lose sight of that. Sometimes people that are charged and they're defendants and they're sitting there and they're next to their attorney, they lose sight of the fact that it's not just on the attorney's performance. Yes, that's super important, that the attorney be prepared, that the attorney be ready to present the case and to represent to the fullest. Absolutely super important. But I would argue equally important is the defendant's performance. And what I mean by that is this, because I'm sure somebody's watching this and they're saying, well, the defendant, the only thing, he or she has to do is just sit there. They don't have to do anything. Unless they testify, they don't have to say anything. So what do you mean? Well, this is what I mean. Yes, the jury will certainly be looking at the prosecutor. They will certainly be looking at the defense attorney. But make no mistake about it. That jury, from the time in which they're seated until the time in which the closing arguments are done, they will be locked in on you, the defendant, if that's you, or your son or your daughter or your husband or your wife, whoever the defendant happens to be. They will be locked in on that person. Why? Because they're trying to read between the lines. Yeah, they hear the witnesses. Yes, they will look at the exhibits, but they are looking at the actual defendant to look for clues, to look for signs to say, did this person really do this? Was this person actually capable of doing the very thing that they're accused of? And what are they looking at? They are looking at your expressions. They're looking at how you handle yourself. They're looking at your overall demeanor. And what I mean by that is this, and this is where you have to be super careful. What I tell my clients is this. I tell them exactly what I'm telling you. Make no mistake about it. All eyes are going to be on you. These people are going to be watching you. So be very careful. Most of us are not used to being in a setting to where folks, they're just trained in on us. They're locked in on us. And so what I tell them is this. There will come a time in this trial in which something's going to happen in which you're not happy about. Something may be said that in your heart of hearts is not true. And some very bad things are likely going to be said about you. Let's just be honest. It's the prosecutor's job to point the finger at you, to say that you did something, to say that you're a horrible person, to say that you committed a horrible crime. And so those things are going to happen. But the question for you is, you have to understand and be prepared for those things to happen. And you have to keep a cool, calm demeanor. And so what I do is I give my clients a piece of paper, I give them a pen, and I tell them, listen, if you have a question, if something happens, write about it. If you have a question for me, write it down to me. But whatever you do, don't lose your cool. Don't allow your outward expression to give these people any idea that perhaps you're not sincere or you're not taking the proceeding seriously. So you don't want to be in court and it's a very serious crime, a very serious allegation, and you're smirking and you're laughing and you're being disrespectful to the witnesses, you know, whether you're shaking your head or you're doing anything that might signal to them, you know what, this guy is really not even really taking this seriously. This woman, she's not, you know, she's not acting the way that we would expect her to act. And so you want to be seated, and you want to, number one, you want to be dressed appropriately, of course. You also want to be very serious. You know, you want to pay attention as well. You want to show due deference to every witness, even the prosecutor. You want to show that, hey, I'm taking this serious. I'm a person that should be taken seriously. And you should listen to the evidence and understand that, hey, from looking at this person, I can't see anything that says that they've done anything. I can't necessarily find any clues or any outward expressions that would say that this is a person that should be found guilty. I kid you not that there are people right now that one of the major reasons why they were found guilty was their in-court behavior, being disruptive, being disrespectful. So I am just simply telling you, if you ever find yourself in the unfortunate position of being a criminal defendant, sitting at a trial in front of jurors or a judge for that matter, you want to make sure that you're ready and you're prepared, that you got your mind right, and that you're ready to behave, and that you're ready to perform at the highest level for the biggest performance of your life. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, reach out. Please, any comments, reach out. Please help me and pass this along to other people that might need it for the biggest performance of their life. And until the next time, remember this: if you have to be guilty of anything, be guilty of greatness. Take great care.